again, all you beautiful people out there. I am Mrs. Realistic, and I thank you for joining me again today. I have gotten so many requests to cover Burden Riot For Me. So without further ado, let's check it out.
What if I was on my knees and executed by police? What if I was being choked and they knew that I couldn't breathe? If I was in the cop car, was killed in the back seat with hands cuffed and locked behind me, y'all ain't losing any sleep. Ain't nobody about to ride for me, and that's a fact. Ain't no protest with signs for me, cause I ain't black. Ain't no hashtags online for me or fighting back.
Wow, this goes hard right off the bat. And it's, I could say, probably 99.9% true. There are no news stories about anybody who gets killed by cops who is white. And if they are not reported on the mainstream. There's one guy in particular that comes to mind, a story that I read a couple years ago. His name was Tony Timpa, and he was apparently off his medication. He was schizophrenic, and he had called the police for help. In doing so, they came up on what they assumed, I guess, was a crazy person high on drugs. And they had his hands and his feet bound and then kneeling on his back for like 14 minutes. Eventually he stopped breathing, and the officers joked on body camera that, oh, I hope I didn't kill him. And then when the ambulance got there, they also gave him medication. I can't remember which medication it was, but apparently it's supposed to subdue somebody. So without his consent, whether he was breathing or not at the time, they also medicated him, which could have also led to his death. I bet you the majority of people out there don't even know about his story. You know, just a white guy. Doesn't matter if he gets killed by a cop. So the cops still haven't been held accountable for this. Meanwhile, the cop that kneeled on George Floyd is in prison for life. So you tell me where the white privilege is. There were no riots in the streets. The mainstream media is not held accountable for pushing these narratives because they're owned by, what, the same 6 people? And this is how they make their money. Push an agenda, push the agenda that sells the best, and screw reality, right?
Protest with signs for me, cause I ain't black. Ain't no hashtags online for me or fighting back. Ain't nobody about to ride for me. Bet y'all don't ride for me. Ain't it demonic how the news make a piece of shit look iconic? How ironic. If the ratings go up, so does the profit.
White dogs matter. That's racist, you guys. I think we're not too far from stories like this pretty soon.
You can change the station, but they're reading from the same script. White man gunned down by police, ain't nobody play that clip. No one gave a shit. I won't get no famous case. I won't get no downtown monument where they paint my face. I won't get no NFL jersey spot that say my name. Oh, that's right, since I'm white, the situation ain't the same. Black lives matter, Asian lives matter, Spanish lives matter. Ain't allowed to say Caucasian lives matter. Why? That don't fit the narrative. That will mean equality. Truth in the mainstream media, that's mythology. Never using my people, your people, good people, poor people. Either we wake up or they gon' keep on using more people. I tried to warn people, supply them the truth. If the victim was me, y'all wouldn't ride. What if I was on my knees and executed by police? What if I was being choked and they knew that I couldn't breathe? If I was in the cop car, was killed in the back seat with hands cuffed and locked behind me, y'all ain't losing any sleep. Ain't nobody about to ride for me, and that's a fact. Ain't no protest with signs for me, cause I ain't black. Ain't no hashtags online for me or fighting back. Ain't nobody.
Yeah, see, he's coming in here and they're doing this random story on the side of the street while this dude is possibly being gunned down in the streets, but because he's white, it's not newsworthy, right? So they're going to talk about white dogs matter. This is a great video. Funny, but not funny, because it brings to light the reality of what's going on.
About to ride for me, bet y'all don't ride for me. This is so exhausting, way the news talking. It's like black folks only ones dead in coffins. Black on black ain't a tragedy, huh? Guess news cameras ran out of batteries, huh? Live by the gun, die by the gun. When it happens in the hood, y'all ain't saying none. But soon as that trigger finger white, y'all be tearing shit up on the same night. Say I ain't right. Say I ain't white, let's say that I'm black. Get pulled over, try to run away and scrap. Reaching for the strap, but he get it first. So I slug him in the face at the same time that it bursts. Now I'm just another reason to ride a name on a shirt. When the truth is I just got what I deserve. When you playing dumb games and you win a dumb prize. Less it's whites killing blacks, they don't give a fuck who dies. When you gonna realize they just trying to divide us. 'Cause red, white, and blue, it's the colors that unite us. I'm getting sick and tired of the looting and the riots. When the truth is if I was dead, then y'all be dead silent. What if I was...
Yes, and I have brought this up in other videos. Why is the crime not important when it's not by a white person or a white police officer? It doesn't matter to them. That story doesn't matter because it does not push the narrative of big bad whitey killing people of color. The reality is the news doesn't care about the black on black crime. Where were the riots for David Dorn, a black retired police captain who was killed protecting his friend's store from looters during the riots? How many people, if you did a man on the street interview, how many people would even know who he was? An upstanding citizen who was trying to help a friend, and he literally gets gunned down by another black person. So it wasn't newsworthy. If he had been gunned down by Kyle Rittenhouse, now that would play over and over and over. There's a truth disparity here. And for some reason, it just continues that feelings matter more than facts. I didn't want to pause during Mesus's flow there because it was so good, but I mean, he says it all perfectly. He really does.
When the truth is if I was dead, then y'all be dead silent. What if I was on my knees and executed by police? What if I was being choked and they knew that I couldn't breathe? If I was in the cop car, was killed in the back seat with hands cuffed and locked behind me, y'all ain't losing any sleep. Ain't nobody about to ride for me, and that's a fact. Ain't no protest with signs for me, cause I ain't black. Ain't no hashtags online for me or fighting back. Ain't nobody about to ride for me, bet y'all don't ride for me.
Yep, that's about all the information that you need right there, because it is 100% true. I've seen interviews where people on the street are asked how many black unarmed people were gunned down, say, last year. And they'll throw out numbers like 1,000. And then when they get the answer, it's like, no, it was 9. And only one of them was unarmed. They're like completely flabbergasted that that's the actual statistic. So, you know, when we hear, oh, black men are just being slaughtered in the streets, it's literally a lie. It's not true. And when they come out with the footage, you see the reality of what actually happened in the situation. It's usually because there was a gun coming after them with a knife, running from the scene of a crime, resisting arrest, evading police in a car chase. All of this stuff that, like, if you just don't do that, your chances of surviving a police encounter are pretty much 100%. So unfortunately, because it's a white guy, it's 2 white guys rapping, you know, they'll just get called racist for making this music. And it's unfortunate because if more people were just a lot more open-minded and they actually did the research, they would realize that all of this stuff that they've been fed is BS. So open your mind, people. Don't live in your echo chamber, because your mind can be changed and it's not a negative thing. Thank you for suggesting this. I really like this. I think I'm going to check out more Burden, and Mesus is great too. I've heard a couple of his songs, one of which I definitely would not be able to react to on here because I know it would get removed immediately. But thank you again, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. As I always say, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.